Welcome back to Evergreen Garden, fellow green thumbs. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and don't forget to leave a comment sharing your gardening experiences. Today, we're diving deep, literally, into what happens underground when you stop digging your soil. If you've been turning the earth for years, or even if you've just started experimenting with no-dig methods, this guide will give you a new perspective on soil life, structure, and fertility. By the end of this, you'll understand why sometimes the best thing for your garden is to leave it alone and let nature do the heavy lifting. Soil begins to heal itself when you stop disturbing it. Every time we dig or till our garden beds, we disrupt a delicate underground world. Beneath the surface, soil is a living ecosystem, packed with microorganisms, fungi, worms, and countless other tiny creatures. When you stop digging, this ecosystem starts to recover. Bacteria and fungi begin rebuilding their networks, particularly mycorrhizal fungi, which form symbiotic relationships with plant roots. These networks act like underground highways, transporting water, nutrients, and minerals to plants far more efficiently than we ever could by hand. For practical application, consider starting a no-dig bed in a section of your garden. Begin by laying down a 5 to 10 centimeter layer of organic mulch, such as straw, compost, or leaf mold. Over time, this mulch will feed microbes and protect the soil surface. Within a few months, you'll notice earthworms returning in higher numbers, sometimes a 30 to 50% increase compared to tilled soil, which naturally aerates the soil without any spade or fork. One of the most immediate changes you'll notice underground when you stop digging is the improvement in soil structure. Digging breaks apart soil aggregates and disrupts the natural layering of minerals and organic matter. When left undisturbed, particles begin to settle into stable clumps called aggregates. These aggregates create air pockets, which are essential for root growth and water infiltration. In no-dig gardens, roots penetrate more deeply and encounter less resistance, leading to stronger, healthier plants. To see this in action, take a small spade and gently lift a section of your no-dig bed after 6 months. You'll notice a dark, crumbly texture, rich with earthworm tunnels and root channels. This natural tilth allows water to soak in rather than running off, and it reduces compaction over time, which is a huge advantage for crops like carrots or parsnips that need loose soil to thrive. Every time you turn the soil, you're exposing microbial communities to oxygen and sunlight that they don't naturally encounter. This can disrupt delicate balances, sometimes even killing beneficial bacteria and fungi. When you stop digging, the microbiome slowly regains its balance. Bacteria that fix nitrogen, fungi that decompose organic matter, and protozoa that regulate bacterial populations all start thriving together. For a practical step, add a layer of compost or aged manure about 3 to 5 centimeters thick on top of your soil rather than mixing it in. Over time, microorganisms will pull nutrients down naturally, and you'll notice that plants grow without artificial fertilizers. Speaking of earthworms, these little creatures are nature's engineers. When you stop digging, worm populations rebound quickly because their tunnels remain intact and undisturbed. Earthworms aerate the soil, mix organic matter naturally, and even secrete compounds that make nutrients more available to plants. A healthy worm population can process up to half of the topsoil annually, converting organic matter into nutrient-rich castings that plants absolutely love. Another remarkable change happens with water. When you dig, you temporarily disrupt the soil's ability to hold moisture because aggregates are broken apart and channels are closed. In no-dig systems, the soil develops a sponge-like structure. Organic layers on top slowly decompose, feeding microorganisms and creating humus, which can retain up to 90% of its weight in water. This means less frequent watering for you, healthier roots for your plants, and better resistance to drought stress. This might sound counterintuitive, but when you stop digging, weed pressure often decreases over time. Digging brings buried weed seeds to the surface, where they find light and germinate. By leaving the soil undisturbed and maintaining a mulch layer, many seeds remain dormant and never sprout. Additionally, as the soil builds up its natural fertility and structure, strong, healthy plants can outcompete weeds more effectively. Stopping digging isn't just good for your garden, it's good for the planet. Disturbing soil releases stored carbon into the atmosphere as carbon dioxide. When soil is left alone, organic matter accumulates, trapping carbon in stable forms. Over time, no-dig gardens can become significant carbon sinks. In practical terms, every square meter of healthy, undisturbed soil can store hundreds of grams of carbon annually. This might seem small in isolation, but scaled up across a backyard or community garden, the impact is meaningful. One of the most fascinating underground effects of stopping digging is how plant roots behave. In tilled soil, roots often encounter loose soil that compacts below, restricting growth. In no-dig beds, roots explore naturally, following worm channels and nutrient-rich pockets. This leads to stronger, deeper root systems, which not only produce healthier plants, but also improve resistance to pests and diseases. When you stop digging, your soil comes alive in ways that, honestly, a spade never can achieve. Microbes flourish, worms return, water retention improves, weeds diminish, and plant roots grow stronger and deeper. What seems like inaction on the surface is actually a carefully orchestrated process underground. By adopting no-dig practices, using mulch, and feeding your soil with organic matter, you're investing in a garden that grows more productive year after year with less effort. If you've been inspired to let your soil do the heavy lifting, just start small with one bed, add layers of compost and mulch, and watch the transformation happen naturally. Your plants will thank you, and your soil will reward you with fertility, structure, and resilience that digging could never replicate. Remember, this is the kind of evergreen gardening knowledge that keeps giving, season after season. If you found this guide useful, hit subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and share it with your fellow gardeners. Comment below with your experiences. Have you tried no-dig gardening yet, or are you thinking of making the switch? Your insights might just help someone else take the first step toward a thriving, low-maintenance garden.